De'Aaron Fox is not going to make a shot from this spot right here.
Well, and one thing he knew was that help was going to come as well, right? Like, not only was De'Aaron Fox not going to make a shot there, but they were going to make sure that if De'Aaron Fox took a shot, it was going to be an incredibly difficult one because they were going to send another defender on him. And hey, smart. Like, the guy just won the Cojones Factor Jerry West Award. Like, you got to make somebody else beat you in that situation, and Harrison Barnes wasn't able to do it.
Yeah, him and Steph both after the game said all we were going to do on that play was live with anybody else shooting the ball. And, like, you can't blame him. And you mentioned that block he had, Brian. Play was even more incredible than that was, I think, a couple possessions before. Sacramento was on a fast break. Sabonis is coming down the lane, and Draymond not only stole the ball, like was able to steal the ball from Sabonis without fouling him, poked it away, and got it back for Golden State going the other way. Like, just an unbelievable
He was
play.
Completely out of position in so much that Sabonis had him on his back.
Yep.
And he's smaller than Sabonis. So Sabonis had the reach advantage with able to control the ball, and he was able to get his hand on it twice. Once to poke it away, the second time to sort of corral it.
It's just unbelievable.
And then on that Sabonis block, he made two defensive plays back to back there, and then he stood over Sabonis and just looked at him, which again is a Draymond experience.
Which again was a Draymond who already had picked up a technical foul earlier in the game and just kind of basically saying, "I dare you to toss me for this."
There's a reason why, through all the things that have happened, Golden State continues to put up with everything that comes with the guy, because when it comes down to winning time, he wins.
Yeah,
and they win.
And like, he's a guy who can go 3 of 14 from the floor and still play an awesome game. Yep. I mean, he had some phenomenal distributing down the stretch as well. 10 rebounds, was obviously a beast defensively. I mean, he's a 4-time champ. Like, he's a first ballot Hall of Famer, despite being a guy who's had a broken jump shot pretty much his whole career.
He had a broken layup shot today, but I'm going to say the Warriors absolutely hit. It wasn't like a 2-ton fist to the face that we've seen the Warriors do over the years, but they played awesome. They shot 50% from the field. They shot 40% on threes, and they could not shake the Kings. They came back and came back and came back. I mean, from 10,000 feet on this series, in game 1, Wiggins missed an open look that was rushed that would have won the Warriors the game. In game 4, Barnes missed an open look that was rushed that would have won the Kings the game. And then they split the other 2 games. It is that narrow that, you could make the argument that had everything gone perfect, it could be Golden State up in this series 3-1, or even have won the whole thing. Or you could make the same argument that the Kings could have won all 4 games. That's a definition of a great series. But my takeaway from it is the way that the Kings, who's never done this before, handled the absolute torture chamber that game was today. I mean, all these guys from the Warriors were hot. Clay was flame throwing. Jordan Poole was hot. Wiggins was making shots. Obviously, Steph, who hit 5 of 11 3-pointers. I mean, like,
Looney was doing his beasting thing, 14 rebounds, 6 assists, Yeah,
I mean, like, the crowd there was crazy. I mean, they were, they knew if they lost, they were probably smoked. And so they played like it, and the Kings just handled it, and they really could have won. And so, like, this is one of those series. I think I mentioned this to Bontemps the other day. This is one of those series where, if this was a different time and place, like, I feel like this way about the Cavs series, the Cavs Knicks series. Whoever I think won the Cavs Knicks game today, I think would win the series. And I felt that way last year in the finals when it was 2-1 Boston. It was game 4. I felt whoever won game 4 was gonna win the series, and Steph dropped 40.
Another game where the Warriors hit a bunch of haymakers down the stretch and pulled it out at the buzzer.
Exactly. And so I don't feel that way about this series. I have no idea which way this is going to go. And that's me complimenting the Kings.
Yeah, the Warriors also actually have to win a game on the road, which they have proven is extremely difficult for this edition of the Golden State Warriors for some bizarre reason. A couple other interesting things here. Steve Kerr got tight with that rotation, boys. Obviously Draymond comes off the bench. They basically played a 6 and change man rotation. Dante DiVincenzo played 16 minutes, and look, Kuminga,
Pat Riley,
plug. I know.
Pat Riley, when the chips are on the line, you play 8 and trust 7.
And he played 7 and trusted 6. Kuminga, 3 minutes, pulled the plug on him. Moses Moody, 5 minutes. Like this whole 2 timeline thing, obviously that kind of got blown up.
We'll talk about that later.
Traded, but like forget about that. Like we'll worry about that next timeline when it's time. Gary Payton, I don't know how he's feeling coming off the illness. He only played 7 minutes. That's interesting. The other thing that was I think might be pretty damn significant. Keegan Murray really struggled the first 3 games of this series. Obviously had a really nice rookie year. He'll be a first-team all-rookie guy. First 3 games of this series, though, looked like a rattled rookie. He had a whopping total of 3 buckets in the first 3 games. He was knocking them down today. 9 of 13 from the floor, 5 of 7 from three-point range, 23 points. Maybe this guy's going to go back to Sacramento and feel like, okay, hey, I belong in the playoffs. Like this is I can
going home
playoffs. Mm-hmm.
And he credited Mike Brown for, staying with him and, giving him words of encouragement and, helping him through it. And Mike, by the way, who, his longtime position as a head coach, and I know that this is a cliche, but he's a big believer in, no excuses. We don't go up there and whine. Not that he hasn't, complained about officiating occasionally, but within a playoff series, he's kind of a no excuse guy. He went up there after the game today and said, our guys got to stop searching for fouls and thinking that the referees are going to bail them out. And we've ruined a bunch of possessions with that today. And these are the champs. You got to knock them out. You're not going to get by them by getting friendly whistles. And I was like, that's a man who is still challenging this team. It was very impressive the way he handled this loss. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, to me, win or lose in this series, to me, what this, like you said before, 10,000 feet view of this series, to me, the thing I'm taking away from the series one way or the other is that the Kings are legit. Yeah. We spent all season, everybody, even in the weeks leading up to the playoffs, right? Everybody was talking about, you want to play Sacramento. You want to play Sacramento. You want to get them. You don't want to play Memphis. You don't want to get Phoenix. You don't want to get any of these other teams. And the Warriors played well in those 2 games in Sacramento, and they just got beat because the Kings played great. And the Kings today, we're going toe-to-toe with them on their home court, and all these legendary players are coming at them with everything they had, and they still almost won in San Francisco. Like, even if the Kings, I think Golden State's going to win game 5. I think they're going to win game 6. I thought Sacramento let them off the bat in game 3. I thought they were going to come back and win the next 4. We'll see if they do. Whatever happens over the final 3 games of this series, to me, going into next season, with the way De'Aaron Fox has played, the way Keegan Murray has played, with what Mike Brown has done with this team, I look at the Kings as a legitimate team going forward in the West. And I think win or lose this series, they've proven that. And if they do find a way to win 2 of these next 3 games and beat Golden State, then whoever gets them next, whether it's the Lakers or Memphis and anybody beyond that, I don't think should be looking at it as oh man, we got Sacramento. This is the series we want. They have been able to play super fast in the playoffs, what people don't think you can do. Fox has been unbelievable in this series, has gone toe-to-toe with Steph. They've just passed every test in this series. It's been an awesome series to watch, and it's just been really impressive to see them step up in a huge spot and just deliver over and over again. It's been great.
But the urine-soaked wet blanket says the beam will not be lit again this season. God, Tim's. This is why I'm not kidding you. I was at dinner tonight. A friendly Canadian who's visiting LA on business, named Alex, comes up and told me he's a fan of the pod, despite a disdain for Bontemps. I think a lot of folks can relate to that.
Well, I have to say,
Bontemps is despised in
Bontemps grew
all
up
borders.
very close to Canada.
did.
He's practically Canadian, but his sensibility is not Canadian. I'm not surprised that Canadians wouldn't necessarily. He's got a definite Eastern Seaboard mentality, and
Americans don't like him either.
I got plenty of fans in Toronto. Lovely, lovely city. One of my favorite cities in the world.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.